Now, I would like to request Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Jagdish Kumar, to say a few words to encourage our participants.
Good morning, my dear colleagues from JNU, India, Russia, and other parts of the world who have joined this webinar. I see that more than 175 participants are there in this webinar. I wish I could speak in Russian language, but my lack of Russian language will be substituted by my wonderful colleagues from Center for Russian Studies, who are experts in Russian language and have been working for decades in doing research in Russian language, literature, and culture. Just before I came here, I just looked at my Arogya Setu app, which is a contact tracing app, and it showed that so far about 86,000 Indians have been affected by the coronavirus, and unfortunately about 2,750 Indians have expired because of COVID-19. And in India, we are adding about 3,900 cases every day. But fortunately, more than half of them are recovering. During the last 2 months, India and of course the rest of the world has gone through this crisis of human survival. It is both a medical crisis and also an economic crisis. Just to tell you how serious the issue is, several hundreds of Indians are on ventilators. A few thousands of Indians are in ICUs. There is a huge lockdown in the country. But how do we come out of this crisis? How do we make this crisis into an opportunity? During the last 2 months, there have been several efforts to contain the rate at which the coronavirus has been spreading in India, because that will give us some time to prepare the medical facilities, to prepare the other equipment that is required to contain the coronavirus. You will be surprised to know that earlier in India, only about half a dozen companies used to produce about 2,200 ventilators per year. But today, huge automobile industries such as Maruti, Mahindra and Mahindra, Tata Motors, Hyundai India, they have joined their hands together, and we are able to produce about 50,000 units of ventilators per month. The personal protective equipment, we used to produce about 47,000 items per year earlier. But today, the personal protection equipment production has skyrocketed to about 200,000 items per day. The reason why I am mentioning these numbers is that few days ago, the Prime Minister of India spoke to the people of India, and he emphasized on the importance of the power of self-reliance. When we say self-reliance, it doesn't mean looking inward or being self-centered. This global disease should not make us close-minded. In fact, this webinar is an example of how we can partner with each other from across the time zones so that we face this crisis with a willpower and resilience. I am very, very happy that the Center for Russian Studies has thought of arranging this webinar. Well, there are various things that each country has to do. For example, we need to find vaccines and drugs to contain the coronavirus. In JNU, we have several schools, such as School of Life Sciences, School of Biotechnology, Special Center for Molecular Medicine, which are working very hard to find a possible vaccine and drug to contain the coronavirus. You will also be very happy to note that across India, the kind of civil response that we are seeing in terms of helping people who are in distress, this is happening on a national scale. Well, the reason why we have joined today is to discuss about the education field. In India, we have close to about 300 million students studying in the schools. And there are about 30 million students studying in the higher educational institutes. And because of the coronavirus situation, the colleges and schools were closed about 2 months ago. But what has happened very surprisingly is that the entire teaching community and the student community have risen to the occasion, and they have shifted from a face-to-face classroom teaching learning processes to the use of information and communication technologies for teaching and learning processes. Today, time has come for us to make sure that our students are engaged fruitfully in their teaching and learning processes in spite of the lockdown and the corona-related crisis that is all around us. Even after the COVID situation goes away, post-COVID too, for several months perhaps, all of us, we need to change the way we are living in order to make sure that a second wave of COVID-19 doesn't arise. So therefore, maintaining social distancing and practicing basic hygiene steps becomes very, very important. So whenever students come back to the universities after the COVID-19 situation comes under control, how are we going to do this? We cannot let our classrooms to be crammed with the students. So time has come for us to see how the information and communication technologies can be used, not just only during these few months of the corona crisis, but even after the corona crisis is over. Time has come for us to decide what part of our teaching and learning should be inside the classroom and what part should be outside the classroom using the communication technologies. Jawaharlal Nehru University in India, which is popularly known as JNU, has taken a very, very proactive role in making sure that the information and communication technologies are effectively used in higher education. During last couple of weeks, we have conducted a number of webinars in training teachers across India in using the digital platforms. And this particular webinar is part of those series of webinars that JNU is conducting. And I am very, very glad to see that there are so many participants from across India as part of this webinar. I wish all of you a very, very success in this webinar. And I hope that the deliberations that take place in the webinar will be highly useful so that when we go back to our homes, we can effectively communicate with our students and continue our teaching learning processes. Once again, I congratulate our Center for Russian Studies and also the colleagues from Russia who have joined hands together to make this webinar a reality. Thank you very much.